It was my senior year of college, the first time that God kind of planted that little seed in my heart that I wanted to teach. I wanted to just proclaim God's truth to anybody and everybody around me. And I just kind of, in the back of my mind, thought, God would never do that. I'm not smart enough, or I could never get up in front of people. I hate being up in front of people. And so I just kind of stored that in my heart and just kind of dismissed that thought. And then when Ryan and I got into ministry, somebody came up to me and just talked to me and told me that God had laid on their heart that they felt like God was telling me that I was going to be a teacher, that I was going to proclaim God's truth to people around me, and that was a gift of mine. And from there, I was like, oh my gosh, and I just ran with it. And I just kind of pictured myself as the next, Joyce Myers or Beth Moore, and I was preaching to thousands of people and seeing them saved and seeing people's lives change, and I was traveling all around the country. But all God spoke to me both times was that I was going to be a teacher and that I was going to proclaim His truth. And I think a lot of times we take those small things that God shows us, and we either take things away from it, or we add things to it, and we don't just focus on God and what He's revealed. Maybe God's speaking something to you, like you're going to be in the medical field, and you're thinking, I'm not smart enough, I don't have the money for that, God would never call me to that, and you're taking away from what God's trying to plant in you and to show you that you can do. Or maybe you're like me and you're like, well, that means that I'm going to be a doctor, and I'm going to be a chief resident at the greatest hospital, and I'm going to make tons of money, I'm going to travel as a missionary. No. We need to step back, and we need to remember that God spoke one thing to us, and that was that we're going to be in the medical field, or we're going to be a teacher. And we don't need to take away, or we don't need to add to it. What we need to do is we need to start preparing our hearts for the next step. And God is going to take us on a journey, and He's going to open doors, and He's going to let us walk step by step until He reveals the next detail. And He will fulfill that promise. But it may not be what you think it's going to look like. And it may be you're going to be able to do more than what you think you are. But don't take away from God and say you can't do it. And don't add to it and put your own picture and your own spin on it. Allow God to reveal to you step by step how He's going to use you as a teacher, how He's going to use you in the medical field, how He's going to use you as a missionary or a mom or a lawyer. Your job is to prepare yourself so that when God opens that door, and whatever it looks like, you are ready to take on what God has for you. So don't add to and don't take away what God shows you. Just prepare yourself and trust that God will fulfill what He says He's going to fulfill in you.